Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. I hope everybody had a lovely New Year's Eve yesterday and a happy New Year. Wishing you all the best. Thank you very much to everybody who did tune in to the Crypto Saving Expert live streams last year, who has participated and interacted with any social media channels from Crypto Saving Experts, and anybody that has tuned in and signed up to Crypto Saving Expert Plus. I would just like to say a massive thank you. I hope you have enjoyed the services so far. We have so much more coming in 2024. The team is getting very, very excited about what's to come here. Lots of meetings going on discussing how we can level up even more in 2024 and provide even more content for you all, especially with the markets moving to the upside. Things are getting interesting and we want to be able to provide that value for you and help build a really strong community within the markets. And that is what we've been aiming to do since the start. So it's been a really successful 2023 and I really can't wait to see what's happening in 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in the markets. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at some of the tokens and then we're going to do a quick recap of what has happened in 2023, because it's been a really interesting year. And to be honest, I was setting up today's live stream, pulling up all the tabs of the news articles, rewinding what happened in 2023. And I had forgotten a lot of things that happened. So it's good to refresh our memories and just take a look down memory lane and remember what we've experienced in 2023, the challenges we've had and what we've learned from them, because that is so important. And we can use that prep into the new year and hopefully we'll see some really positive things happening in 2024. So let's take a look first of all at the prices right now. Bitcoin is currently trading at $43,164, up slightly for the new year. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of this action within the next year. What we've got here, Ethereum, for Ethereum as well, it's up 1.1% to $2,326. So really nice movements there. In terms of the biggest gainers of the day, we've got SEI up 16%, 1inch up 16%, the Graph up 12%, and Bitcoin SV up almost 12% as well. So big gains there. And we are seeing BitDAO and ICP, Maker, and Ethereum Proof of Work down slightly, but all between 4 and 8% there. So pretty moderate moves in the cryptocurrency space. We've seen bigger drops than that. Let's see what's happening here in the chat. Good. Happy New Year to Player One. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hello, Henshaw. Thank you very much. And Monkey Nuts, thank you for being here throughout 2023. And I hope to bring more entertainment in 2024. Henshaw says, glad to be here. Was here when you started the stream last year, and I'm glad to be starting the year with you again. So we actually started these streams, I believe it was on maybe the 8th of December 2022. I need to check that. I used to remember that, but I think it was around that date. So we've actually been doing these streams for an entire year now. We're on month 13 of these live streams, doing them every single weekday, Monday to Friday. We are here on these live streams. One of my New Year's resolutions is that we have a more consistent time with these live streams, because as you can see, they are kind of all over the place. Maybe we'll set in like an 11 a.m. target and just do the streams at the same time every day, because I think that would be helpful for the new year. A nice little resolution from me. So let me know in the chat what time you think the live streams should be at, because we need to fit it in with all the different time zones there. But yeah, 1 year ago, we were doing these live streams. I was a little bit more nervous then than I am now on those streams. If you go back to a year ago, you can see that I'm a little bit nervous. But a year of these live streams has taken all of that and those nerves away. Smurthy says, Happy New Year, Jess, CSE, and everyone in the chat. Once again, just a big thank you to everybody who has signed up to CSE Plus, CSE Premium, interacted with social media channels, and helped us grow within the last year, and hopefully we will see a huge amount more growth in the coming year as well. But let's take a rewind now and see what happened in 2023, the challenges we had, and let's talk about the lessons we've learned there, because we need to take those lessons forwards into 2024. What's going to happen in 2024 is very, very exciting. If the 4-year cycles continue to repeat and we do get this bull market that is highly anticipated, we need to be ready and prepared. Now, a bull market is something we all look forward to, but it is so chaotic. I don't know how many of our viewers have been in cryptocurrency for a bull market, but there is so much news going on all of the time. It's really hard to stay on track. There is news coming from every single angle. That's why you may have seen in the previous bull market that Martini guy, our founder, was having like 6 monsters a day and just sleeping like 3 hours a day for about 6 months, because it is just, you have to be on it all of the time. And that is something that we are trying to help our users kind of navigate by making CSE Plus Discord and making other communities and doing these live streams, so we can inform you on what's going on and do all of the time the stuff that takes loads of time, and just pack it all into a small product to show you every day, to keep you up to date on what's going on in the news, because we know that not everybody is full-time crypto, and if you're not full-time crypto, you still want to be keeping up to date with what's going on. So we do these live streams, we have CSE Plus Discord, and we are trying to build a community to just make our lives a little bit easier in that bull market. But it is still going to be chaotic, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But let's take a look at what happened last year. First of all, in the news at the start of the year, in March 2023, we did see Russia to use the Chinese yuan for trade settlements with Asia, Africa, Latin America, and we did see the yuan was used in 49% of China's cross-border transactions last quarter, topping the dollar for the first time. That was in July 2024. So we were seeing the rise of the yuan in 2023, and alongside that, we were seeing some fear in the US when it comes to crypto. Jerome Powell did say crypto has the staying power as an asset class there. So the cryptocurrency market is rallying after the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said it has staying power, and as Wall Street institutions move forward in their efforts to adopt the technology. So that comment there did trigger a bit of a move to the upside. He did say we can see stablecoins as a form of money, but he indicated that inflation had a long way to go before falling to a level of 2%, and there were lots of fears going on there. So that's what was really happening towards the first half of the year. Let's talk about more positive things here. Let's talk about these ETFs. Now, I know we've spoke about the ETFs so many times, but I think it's a really important time to be talking about this, because the 10th of January could be a game changer for cryptocurrency, and I cannot state this enough. So let's rewind first of all to August 2023. What we saw in August was Grayscale won a lawsuit against the SEC, so which meant that the regulator had to re-review their Bitcoin ETF application. So Grayscale have their Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, and it's essentially just a product that holds Bitcoin, but it's not an ETF, meaning the value of that stock or that product is not pegged to the value of its underlying Bitcoin. It's not a one-to-one valuation. It would be if it was transferred into an ETF, but it has not yet been transferred into an ETF. Now, the reason it hasn't been transferred is because the SEC, the regulators in the US, did not allow it. Now, Grayscale opened up a court battle against the SEC, saying the reason you aren't allowing this doesn't make sense. You can't use that as a reason to not accept this product into the markets. And then the SEC lost that. So that was a massive, massive win for the cryptocurrency space. Grayscale won that. The SEC now have to re-review the spot Bitcoin ETF application. They need to either think of another reason as to why Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF can't go live on the markets, or they need to accept it and allow that transition from their Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, into an ETF, which would allow it to have that one-to-one peg between the value of its underlying assets and the value of the product. And that is when it all gets exciting, because we have not only seen Grayscale apply for spot Bitcoin ETFs, but we've seen the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, apply for a spot Bitcoin ETF in June this year. And we have heard the CEO of BlackRock suddenly turn bullish on the assets as well. So some of you may remember from the time this news article came out, there was a video circulating of Larry Fink, the BlackRock CEO, saying just a couple of years prior that Bitcoin was the index for money laundering. But in 2023, he was saying that Bitcoin is an international asset. In fact, let's take a look at this video. So that was a quick change of events from Larry Fink, from calling it a index for money laundering to being so bullish on Bitcoin. That's a massive win for the cryptocurrency space once again. It was brilliant to see that and to see the application from BlackRock for the spot Bitcoin ETF. Oh, apparently we did not get sound on that video. Apologies for that. Hopefully 2024 will have less technical difficulties, but it's not looking good so far. Let's take a look and continue on this story here. So after BlackRock filed for their spot Bitcoin ETF, they did later apply for a spot Ethereum ETF as well to further the crypto push there. Positive things all around. It created a little bit of excitement in the markets once again. Since BlackRock have applied for their spot Bitcoin ETF application, we have seen many other institutions apply for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and we have seen the price of Bitcoin slowly move to the upside. Now, the reason for this is because many people are looking at this opportunity and they're trying to front run the acceptance of these ETFs. Now, a really interesting thing to note here is Bitcoin has rallied massively since these ETF applications were created, and there are some fears right now that this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. This is where we buy the rumor, we buy on the excitement of the anticipation of the ETF, but when the ETF actually launches, the value of the asset drops. Now, this is something that could actually play out in real life. I'm not sure if I'm quite on board with this hypothesis, but it's an interesting one to have because there's a lot of people that have invested and tried to front run this ETF. So I think if there is any fears that this is going to be the case upon acceptance, we could see a lot of people getting very fearful and pulling their money out very, very quickly. So I'm going to be really cautious on the day that we do get a response from the SEC because I'm expecting a huge amount of volatility. But we will be live streaming it here on the channel. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. The next story we have here is still on with the BlackRock ETF. Oh, no, it's not. We're moving on to another one now. We are talking about Ripple and XRP. So back in July 2023, obviously, this is the 2023 recap. In July last year, we did see the judge rule XRP is not a security in the SEC's case against Ripple. This was a massive win for the space. This was prior to the ETF applications, I believe. This is at a point when we really had no bullish news in the markets, and it just triggered a massive run to the upside. This was a brilliant day for cryptocurrency. What's been happening here essentially is XRP is a token issued by Ripple. Now, XRP had been labeled as a security by the SEC. The reason that's a problem is because the SEC is the regulatory body in the US who regulates securities. If you offer a security, you need to be registered with the SEC, and XRP is not. Now, the reason XRP is not registered with the SEC is because they don't believe it is a security. So you can see there's a bit of a problem. How can XRP just say, we're not a security, we're not going to register, when the SEC is saying you are a security? The reason we have that kind of conflict is because the regulation in the US for cryptocurrency is not clear. This is something we've been fighting for in cryptocurrency for a very long time. The US regulation over determining whether assets are securities or not is very blurry, and that is a problem, something we're still fighting for to this day. But XRP really helped push that argument along in this lawsuit. So what's happening here, we are still in this lawsuit, bear in mind, is that the judge ruled that XRP is not a security in 3 out of 4 instances. So there's 4 different ways that XRP is distributed. And out 3 of those ways, it is deemed that XRP is not a security. And this was just a court hearing inside the lawsuit. The lawsuit is still ongoing. There's many other things to discuss. But this was a massive win for the space because this discredited the SEC in a sense. It proved that the SEC is saying, when the SEC is saying, look, we have all of the regulation in place, the rules aren't clear, the cryptocurrency space is just trying to ignore them, it really discredited that argument and said, look, even the SEC is wrongfully determining whether these assets are securities or not. This proves that we need more clarity on the regulation in the US. It really proved that although the SEC can say the regulation is there, it's fine, it is not, because the SEC even got it wrong. And if they got it wrong, how are we meant to know what we're classifying these assets as? So that was a massive, massive win for the cryptocurrency space. XRP rallied massively. I do believe that people have been accumulating XRP so much since this lawsuit started. And They haven't really got the returns that they deserve yet. Hopefully they will do in the future. As I said, this is still ongoing, but we have seen some small wins there for XRP and the entire cryptocurrency space. That was the real push there. It proved that the SEC had a lack of understanding of their own regulation, and really that is a win for the cryptocurrency space, not just Ripple. After this, we did see Coinbase Global announce the relisting of XRP following the court ruling. So they said, look, if the court has ruled that XRP is not a security, we can put it back on our exchange. Because the reason these exchanges delist tokens like XRP that are listed as securities is because they don't want to be called a unregistered securities exchange. They could then end up in a lawsuit with the SEC. Now, Coinbase have them, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's take a look at the next one here. Still on the same topic, the SEC have dismissed all charges against the Ripple Labs chief executive Brad Garlinghouse and executive chairman Chris Larsen, claiming the pair aided and abetted the company in violating US securities laws. They have dismissed this. So changes have been made there. So what's going to happen here is it cannot file charges again. This represents another victory for the company in the lengthy saga since the SEC filed suit against Ripple in 2020. The SEC made no sign of dropping the original allegations against the company, so that is still ongoing, but the charges have been dropped against the executives in the company there. So that was still a big win. Let's take a look at the next one here. We've got a couple more here to discuss today of what changes have happened. What we've got here is sorry, can everybody hear? No audio on the video, but can hear you, Jess. Okay, perfect. What we've got here in the next story is Sam Bankman-Fried found guilty on all 7 charges in criminal trial. This happened back in November, at the start of November. He was found guilty on all 7 criminal charges for his role in the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX in 2022. Sam Bankman-Fried, who is 31 years old, faces up to 110 years in prison, with sentencing set for March 28th. 2024. So that is no longer that far away. What we've seen here is Sam Bankman-Fried was the CEO of FTX, what was seen as one of the most credible cryptocurrency exchanges until November 2022, when it completely shut down and filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, FTX's CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, has been charged with the criminal charges of here we've got them here, convicted on multiple charges of conspiracy, wire fraud, and securities fraud. He pleaded not guilty in December, but he has been found guilty, so he is now facing those charges there. The next story we have here is on CZ, the legend CZ. He was the founder and CEO of Binance Exchange, one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges. This exchange has helped push cryptocurrency to many people over the years, and CZ did actually step down as CEO earlier this year. So we can see this was on the 21st of November. Now, it was really interesting how the cryptocurrency space responded to this, because it was amongst some regulatory concerns in the US, but I think we all kind of stood down and gave him like a round of applause as he kind of walked down away from being CEO, walking down the steps and handing that over to somebody else, because he's done so much for the industry. It's an amazing thing to have done, to have pushed the space forward this much. There are some accusations when it comes to regulatory concerns, but he has really helped the industry overall. It has been a net positive, in my opinion. What we've seen for Binance is somebody who already works in the company, who has a brilliant track record, has taken his place as the new CEO. We did also hear that CZ can still consult the new CEO and help guide the exchange and how it can be pushed forward. And CZ is still a majority shareholder of Binance, so it is still in his best interest to consult the new CEO and help the company forward in any way he can, which I'm sure he is going to do so. He has been pretty active on Twitter since he did step down and talking about what he's going to do with now he's got all of this time on his hands. He has been working flat out for the last 6.5 years. So it'd be pretty interesting to see what he gets up to next. It will be an interesting couple of years here. As I say, he pushed the space forwards so much. It's really nice to see that we all kind of respected him for that, even though there has been some concerns when it comes to regulation. Last story of what happened in 2023 here. We've got Evergrande, China property giant, files for US bankruptcy protection. This caused a huge amount of concern in the markets. A lot of people were concerned at the effects this would have on, in fact, the cryptocurrency markets as well. But it wasn't too devastating for cryptocurrency, but just something to be aware of. I've just realized what we've forgotten here in this cryptocurrency update is what happened with all of the banks at the start of the year. We had banks collapsing at the start of the year. Let's pull this up here. So March, I think it was, banks collapse in the US. We had so many banks, 3 small to mid-sized US banks failed. So let's take a look at this, the 2023 US banking crisis. So what we saw here was Silicon Valley Bank failed when a bank run was triggered after it sold its treasury bond portfolio at a large loss, causing depositor concerns about the bank's liquidity. The bonds had lost significant value as market interest rates rose after the bank had shifted its portfolio to longer maturity bonds. The bank's clientele was primarily technology companies and wealthy individuals holding large deposits, but balances exceeding 250,000 were not insured by the FDIC. Silvergate Bank and Signature Bank, both with significant exposure to cryptocurrency, failed in the midst of turbulence in the markets. It was interesting here because there was a lot of conversation about how these banks were linked to cryptocurrency, but essentially what happened here was they all had a huge amount of unrealized losses on their balance sheets, and then when there was a bank run, they had to realize those losses, and it was just kind of a tumble from there. Now, although these banks had exposure to cryptocurrency and it was kind of shedding a bad light onto the cryptocurrency space, cryptocurrency rallied. Bitcoin pumped. The reason Bitcoin pumped was because this showed a lack of confidence in the banks. And when people have a lack of confidence in the banks, they look for a safe haven, and Bitcoin is seen as a safe haven. You can bank, you are your own bank. You have self-custody. You do not need to rely on a bank to not create these unrealized losses. You are in control of your own funds, and that is that. So off the back of this, we saw Bitcoin rally massively. Let's take a look at what's going on in the news today, though. That's the end of our 2023 recap. Thank you very much to everybody who's been with us through 2023. I appreciate it so much. I've enjoyed doing these live streams every single day and plan to do so for the foreseeable future. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. What we've seen here in the latest news is Avalanche Foundation wants to start purchasing meme coins. We've seen the China eyes crack down on USDT due to Forex involvement. What have we got here? Solana token standard, SLP, and the future with the token 2022 program. We've got South Korean officials traded over $100 million in crypto in the last 3 years. And we have also seen Vitalik Buterin post a new Ethereum roadmap here, looking at the future of Ethereum, and some changes are being made there as well. So lots going on in the cryptocurrency space right now. As I said, the thing we need to be focusing on right now is the spot Bitcoin ETF. We've got a final deadline for one of these applications on the 10th of January. So there's a lot of anticipation that we will see some sort of response from the SEC this week or next week. A lot of people are actually expecting this week. It just needs to be by the 10th of January. So make sure to tune into these live streams every single day. We don't know what day this news is going to come out, but it's going to change the space forever, and we need to be on the ball this week with it. So make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. I'll be doing deep dives on that and coming on here and sharing my news with you. So make sure to tune in every day so you don't miss out on this massive opportunity that could be just around the corner. That's all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back here tomorrow morning with another cryptocurrency news update, and I will see you all then. Goodbye.